Welcome to Movie Roundup today. I'm going to explain a British thriller called The Exam. 8 people prepare to give a important exam with which they will be able to access to an exclusive job in one of the largest companies of the planet. The candidates enter a dark room where there are 8 benches with their respective exams on the tables. When everyone sits, a guard armed enters the room, followed by a elegant man in a suit who presented to the candidates as the supervisor. The supervisor congratulates him on have come this far and tell them that only one of them will be able to keep the post. Also mentions that within there are no laws in this room alone. The rules imposed by the company, they are not allowed communicate with the guard or the supervisor, cannot leave the room, and they must not spoil your exam sheet. If candidates break any of these rules, will be disqualified. In supervisor tells them to answer the only question that is written on their sheets, and they will have 80 minutes to do it. Then man asks candidates if they have any questions, and since no one answers, the supervisor activates the timer in the wall and leaves the room. Then the participants circle your leaves to be able to see the question, but there is nothing written behind them. Candidates look at each other very confused because they don't know what it is that they must suddenly answer. One of the candidates begin to write in the blade, blasting, so the guard he approaches and takes her out of the room, leaving disqualified. After a while, another of the participants realizes note that it is not against the rules talk to each other, so they get to talk. The subject tells them that all they should cooperate and work as a team to figure out what the question is. Others agree, and the blonde proposes giving nicknames to be able to communicate better than the guy. Nicknames himself White, and the others he calls them black, brown, blonde, brunette, dark, and the last one he calls Deaf Sense. The poor guy hasn't spoken yet, and they don't pay attention despite the racists and rude candidates accept their nicknames. After a while, Marika believes that the question could be written in ink, invisible, so everyone draws near its leaves in the light, trying to discover something. Deaf does not move from its bench, for what White approaches and takes his blade to pass it by the light, but nobody find nothing. Black say that ink, invisible, perhaps can only be seen with other types of light such as infrared or the ultraviolet, and everything is put to give you walk around the room looking for some clue. Then blonde realizes that in the room there are some emergency lights paid, but there is no switch turn them on for what they propose. Break the other lights in the room, hoping to be able to activate the majority agrees, and when manage to break all the lights, room lighting emergency is turned on by emitting a powerful ultraviolet light. Candidates look for the question in the leaves again, but they get nothing. Dark is given. Note that only part of the lights emergency has come on, suggesting that maybe if they break the lit part, the section that is off could be learned. If many options they try and your idea works, as soon turn on the other part of putting this once an intense infrared light without. However, when trying again, they see that this light does not reveal anything either. Time keeps running, and White is the boy has a brilliant idea. Proposes to use the sheet of the participant who has been eliminated for find the question as they can do what they want with it without risk being disqualified. Then White starts scratching the sheet, but it doesn't find anything right away. Man breaks it into several pieces to try different things and piss on one of them, waiting for something to happen. But again nothing time after death. Speak for the first time in French. Expressing with some anguish that the question is there and they should see it with clarity. However none lend much attention and everything starts to talk about. Brown exam has a theory that they are in some kind of game on, where the last one standing inside of the salon will be the winner. Quickly Dark denies the theory of Brown explaining how the company inside and what they do. Clearly you already know things about the company that the others do not. Brown suspects the girl but she says she only reported about the company and take out their conclusions assuming that the company that she is hiring them is a very pharmaceutical powerhouse called joo-hwan is here where we find out that a dangerous virus is killing millions of people all over the world, so the boys assume that the pharmacist could be hiring people since have found the cure while they speak. Brunette remember the rules and she decides to make a risky move. She approaches the guard and begins to rummage in her pockets where she finds a lighter. The boys come a fire alarm on the roof and they think that if they manage to activate the liquid could reveal the question in the leaves. Then Marika gets on a bank and White rolls up a sheet and reaches the girl, lights the blade and she approaches the alarm with what they get. Activate it by causing a heavy rain in the room. The liquid that comes out is water and they wet their leaves but as it was from weight nothing happens. Brunette looking for her paper and she soon realizes that the sheet that White enroll and gave him to burn, it's yours so the guard will. He approaches and takes her out of the room. White labia betrayed and Black say angry and confronts him about his horrible attitude, but at that moment the lights they turn off. The group realizes that they can interact with the room. Voice commands and quickly return to turn on the lights. At that dull moment he begins to cry, very anguished. That Blanco takes advantage of to invite him to that he breaks his sheet and the boy does it without hesitate too long while the guard throws the man deaf out of the room. The glasses fall and White tells the other participants who should thank you for expelling the others candidates. Blacks get tired of White's attitude, so he hits him on the head, knocking him unconscious, and with the help of Brown tie him to a chair so he doesn't cause more problems. Half an hour left for the test finished and the group still doesn't know what it is. The question when White wakes up. The boy confesses that he is infected with the virus and that he should take his medication soon so as not to die. The group decide not to give him the medication for check that he is telling the truth, and shortly after the young man falls unconscious. Again that's when it's dark. Suggests that White could be a company infiltrator. Introduce the exam group to destabilize and cause problems. Brown takes a step forward saying that White is too dumb to be an undercover but she's pretty intelligent, suggesting that the true undercover dark blonde tries calm the situation, but Brown is dark to the chair with a belt. Then the boy sits in front and tells the woman who confesses what she knows and reveal the question or you're going to hurt Lala. Girl breaks down and tells them that she does. She is a member of the company but she only applied so she could move up from position and has no idea what the Brown question. Realizes that dark she is telling the truth so the leave her alone, and blonde releases her. In that White moment begins to convulse in the chair for what others are given. Realize that he really has the virus. They look for the medication but they don't find and think that someone could having caught her for what they decide marry each other to prove that No one has her dark suspects brown. And realizes that the man is chewing gum, so he approaches his table and reaches under it where he finds the pill stuck with the rubber of chewing. The others want to give him the pill since if not White it could die, but Brown refuses and hits him in the hand, causing the pill to fell and went through the drain grate off the ground, so they can't reach. Dark despairs and begs the supervisor to help him and not leave him die, but talk to the supervisor goes against the rules, so the guard he approaches and takes her out of the room. Then Blonde takes one of the clips of her hair and she uses it to try to reach the pill. When she gets it, she takes it. And the medicine takes effect, instantly causing you to wake up. Black feel real bad, so they did, and soon reveals that he too is infected. Then White gets up and he tells them what he thinks the man believes, that the question is the exam and the answer is they, insinuating that who will pass the exam is the last one remain standing alive and without being disqualified. Only 10 minutes left in the counter, for which White runs, trying to take the guard's gun. But Black pushes it away and gets grab her first man the tip. But White knows that he is not capable of shoot him, so he pounces on you and manage to take the gun away. When he tries to shoot, the boy gives note that the gun needs a fingerprint to function, so he quickly grabs the guard's hand and unlock the white weapon. Tells them that if they don't want to die, the only alternative that he has to walk out the door one by one. Brown accepts defeat from him and comes out first. Blonde is the second to go out, but when she is in front of the door, the woman turns off the lights with her voice and quickly run out. Black tap into pounce on White, but the boy shoot and turn the lights back on, where we see that Black has received a shot in the white heart area. He looks at the door and realizes that Blonde hasn't left the room yet, that he has his foot inside, and as he approaches the time on the stopwatch reaches 0. Then White yells the supervisor that he is the winning candidate, but the guard walks over and shows him his watch. Where do you see that there are still 20 left seconds for the exam to end? Of the rules were not to talk to him supervisor, so the boy stays disqualified and the guard takes him out of the room. Is where we find out that while everyone argued death, I take this opportunity to speed up the stopwatch. So the room counter marked the wrong time. The only one remaining participant is Blonde, and she picks up the deaf glasses from the ground and she used to look at her sheet with them. Blonde can see that the exam question is question 1, and at that moment Deaf enters to the room, where it is revealed that he is the owner of the company. The woman, she approaches him, and before she finishes the Blonde exam time, you answer is not. Supervisor and owner are happy, since the woman had discovered the question and she answered it correctly. It turns out that before starting the exam, his supervisor had asked if they had any doubt that was the question 1 that they should answer. His supervisor tells him that the hired person would have to make important decisions in company, for which they were looking for someone intelligent that is attentive and knows listen. As Margot, the woman does not want accept the job since she doesn't like it. Well, what the company did in the exam is then when the proctor reveals that Black is fine, since the bullets in the gun have a new pill that they have developed, which cures the virus and makes the body cells regenerate super fast. Black stand-up demonstrated that the pill works, and the supervisor tells him that the discovery of that pill is extremely important and they can only make a very small amount per what they needed. A person like her to take care of this valuable discovery. In the end, the woman gets excited and decides accept the job. Remember to leave your like, that helps much to the channel. Subscribe and turn on notifications to see more videos like this. Thank you. To see and until next time.